Hi everybody, Catherine again. Chicken pot pie is what we're doing at this point. If you are watching this on playlist, there's an extra bonus video with some kind of extra tips. So one thing I love to do if I'm just doing all of my meal prep is, and this bonus is just about cooking chicken in larger quantities and then basically divvying it up to make your meals. The other thing I do that with is any type of chopping. So there's like a couple recipes in this menu that use carrots, that use celery. So I got all those chopped at once, just divided them. The same with onions. And so what I've done with the chicken, I shredded it and I just put it right in this 9x13. And these are freezer safe, oven safe, all that stuff. You guys know that. I had a few extra onions left over from the other recipes. And so I just dumped them in here. So this is pot pie. And again, I'm making with chicken because it's amazing with chicken. But the reason why I'm wanting to share this recipe at this time is this is really, really great with turkey. And so you know, bulk up on your Thanksgiving turkey, and this is an awesome way to use leftovers, whether for right away or to just throw in the freezer for another day. And if you've all watched any of my videos before, I've probably said in near all of them how much I don't like dirty dishes. So I am gonna freeze in here, and we're just gonna do all the mixing in this pan as well, because then we don't have a bunch of dirty dishes. Okay, so we are ready to go. I did a couple prep things ahead of time. So like I said, the chicken, here we go. Chicken is here and shredded and has a few leftover onions in it. This is such a great base recipe to kind of just clean things out, which is what I've done. Here in this little pan, I overcooked this slightly, but it won't matter. What this was butter and flour. It was a roux, and we're going to simply thin that. So this will be the thickening agent, you know, in the pot pie. If you are needing to not have flour, you can use a gluten-free substitute for thickening, or you can just omit it and your pot pie will be just a slight bit more runny. But that being said, it really is a great soup option as well. So if it's super runny, it's not a big deal. So what I'm doing here is just kind of adding slowly. Basically, we're eliminating clumps of flour from eating. All right. So I think we're good here. This was, I had a couple things of chicken stock in the fridge left over from other stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and pour that in. Okay, and some of you are thinking, why is she using that? This metal whisk is absolutely safe to use on this pan. These are outside of cast iron. These are my pans that I use all the time. So there's stainless steel on the outside. You can see how much I use them. They're filthy. On the bottom, that can be cleaned, and I do clean it from time to time. But obviously, you know, the inside has got this awesome non-stick finish. So less cleaning, right? That's always a plus. Okay, so now we're up to our veggie time. I've got carrots in here, and I've got celery in here, and I will say cut these to the liking of your family. My family doesn't mind either of these vegetables, but if you are at that point in life where you're sneaking veggies in, obviously cut them a lot smaller. And then we're just gonna mix a little bit here. Okay, and this is gonna come together just pretty easily in here. The other thing I found, and is a fun addition to these, I checked my pantry. I don't even know why I had these, but I'm going to throw them in. So I think you can see this is a pretty flexible recipe. If you have leftover like roasted potatoes, leftover hash browns, any of those types of things are really awesome to just kind of throw in pot pie. It's a little bit of a kitchen sink recipe. The recipe does call for peas, and I thought I had peas, but turns out it was spinach, not peas. So I'm gonna skip those at this time, and then we're gonna add a couple cans of soup. And again, if you need to use gluten-free options, those are easily subs. You can easily sub those, or definitely give me a shout, and I will help you So look at this. This is funny. This is both cream of chicken soup, 2 different brands. Looks really different. But I'm certain it will taste the same. So I'm basically just gonna kind of put this here. As it cooks, it will, you know, bubble and mix. And it won't definitely look as quite like lasagna as this one does. The other thing I had added to my roux, and I have forgotten to mention, was garlic. And just basically once I melted that butter, added that in there and let it kind of simmer on the stove for about like a minute. It doesn't take very long at all, but you just kind of want to make almost that like paste, if you will. Okay, so now this is, your recipe is written for 4 cups of chicken stock, but you get to kind of decide. If you want to make this more like a soup, then obviously add more stock. If you like the pot pie idea, then you are, you know, if you like it a little bit thicker, stick closer to that 4. And then also just based on how many you are feeding, reminder that all of these meals can be split very easily into smaller cooking containers. You could put this in obviously a Ziploc bag and freeze this and use later. So if you were doing a bag, this would be your point of add your peas in here and then freeze. Oh, look at that. I just... that would be, there we go. But I'm using this, and I'm also just gonna show you guys when it is time. We're gonna add a little bit of seasoning. We've got some 3 onion. I didn't need quite as much because I had extra onion. I also like to add thyme into here, so that's gives it some good flavor, and I think that's funny because I do need extra thyme. Okay, so this is it here. Let's move that for you. And I'm just gonna show you, like, when we go to finish this, what this is going to look like. Okay, so you actually have a couple options. Recipe is gonna say crescent rolls, but you could also use a pie crust on this. So if you have extras of those, use that. I've also done biscuits before. Biscuits are fun as well. And these tubes are fine, or any leftovers you have. So what we're going to do is basically we're going to leave this as a sheet. We're going to save this guy first. And so we're just going to unroll. And we're going to use as a sheet. And then I just like to crease on the extra edge there. So this one is already rolled a little bit because it was in the inside. And then I will do the same, and just overlapping is fine. There's already holes for venting, so you don't need to do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the next one and then finish this. You could freeze it like this, or you can go ahead and freeze just the mix and add the crescent rolls on day of cooking. Either one will work. But if you want to simply have this completely done, you can also freeze like this. A reminder to, well, look at this. I'm having trouble with this, so I'm gonna finish that later. If you're freezing this, either double foil or 1 foil and then the foil lid. But it is so easy, you guys. This is such an easy recipe to just kind of start and then go. So the other thing I love to serve this with, and I got this idea from my friend Joanna Gaines. She's not really my friend, but she's kind of like everybody's friend, actually. Their family serves chicken pot pie, even with the crescent roll top, over mashed potatoes. And the first time I tried it, I thought, I don't know about this, but we tried it and it was amazing. So if you have leftover potatoes from Thanksgiving, awesome. You put it in a bowl. I just, spoon potatoes, spoon the chicken pot pie over the top, or make mashed potatoes. So easy to do. They don't need to be very fancy at all, but it is so delicious. And obviously, if you are looking to stretch this a little bit further budget-wise, adding the potatoes in will fill bellies a lot faster and a lot, cheaper. So That's another thing I love about it is it allows this, even for my family, to feed us multiple times, at least twice, if not 3, if I add in the mashed potatoes to the mix. So there you go. There's your chicken pot pie, turkey pot pie, whatever pot pie, kitchen sink pot pie. I think you can see how flexible this recipe is. And so it is such a great way to use up leftovers, and, you know, just with a fun twist, and save yourself some time and money. So awesome. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you soon.